Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. So here's some reminders about why attorneys are a waste of money and time and energy. Um, First and foremost, an attorney doesn't care about your case, doesn't care about your life with your kid anywhere close to how much you care about it. That's why they don't spend a lot of time, they don't get around to you, they don't get back to you when you really want and need them to. Second of all, um, they can't know as much about your case as you do. It's your life. You know, I've won some court hearings. My first contempt, I specifically won because I made an argument. The mother's attorney made a response argument. I can't remember if the guardian line was allowed to talk, but she wrote a report saying the mother should not be found in contempt because she's a radical feminist, man-hating witch. And she liked to set up guys to get screwed. Um, I need to do a video on her. Anyway, but after they argued, I thought of a couple things right on the fly, and I'm like, oh wait, they're sitting there saying the mother feels this way. She said this in our first hearing, so I had a transcript from the first hearing as an exhibit or on file, and then something else she said. I said, Your Honor, if you go back and look at Exhibit 17 and Exhibit 24, it says this and that and that, and her attorney is fumbling and bumbling through the paperwork, and I won the contempt. And it was really because I knew my life and I don't have to memorize my life. Her attorney had to memorize the case, but I already know my whole life and every dealing with her. I could think of it off the top of my head. But I come into court with 20, 30 exhibits armed with an arsenal of stuff in case I have to go to one or two of them. And that's usually what happens. I'll have 20, 30, 40 exhibits and I only go to one or two during a hearing. Kind of like if you're in a war and you have all the weapons available you need, you might need a knife for a one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat, or a pistol, or a grenade, or a bazooka. But if you got all that stuff ready to go, then whatever tool you need that's the tool that you use. Another reason, attorneys juggling 20, 30 other clients. They don't got time to get to you when you want them or need them to get to you. Even though the rules of professional conduct say they have to promptly respond to requests for information. Now, a lot of you got an attorney. You don't look up the rules of professional conduct, even though I have a video talking about how I deal with attorneys on my YouTube channel. You don't demand them to follow it. It's too scary for you to tell the person that you're the boss of, that you're giving $400 an hour to. It's really scary for you to tell them to do their job, and so you don't confront them, and you suffer because of it, and your life with your kids suffers because of it. Another thing is you get to go to court and do whatever you want. If you're representing yourself compared to an attorney's like, oh, let's not do that. Let's not get on the offensive. Let's not move too fast or too much. I got some clients, they've been waiting months and months for their attorneys to act and do stuff. And then by the time, you know, the conflict kind of, the dust kind of settles and the attorney's been goofing around, let's say you're doing a contempt and now it's like 2 or 3 months later and the attorney's like, well, it was so long ago now, maybe we shouldn't bother. Well, you're the one who screwed up. One of the rules of professional conduct is that an attorney is supposed to exercise diligence. Under that rule, it's usually RPC. Let's see, 1.1 is competence, 1.2 is diligence, 1.3 is fees. So it's usually RPC 1.2. Some states have a different numbering system. That's the American Bar Association's numbering system that most states adopt. Kind of like, the states usually adopt the civil rules from the federal court rules. But the thing is, under the comment, now when you have the rules of professional conduct underneath each rule, like the rule might be only one sentence long, but then they have commentary on it where attorneys have written and broken down, or whoever wrote the rules of professional conduct broke it down with some commentary. And under the diligence rule, it says perhaps no other issue is more aggravating than procrastination. If an attorney procrastinates on a case, that can sabotage somebody's case. If they don't get around to doing something, or if they're late filing something, it can make somebody's, or if they, if they miss a deadline, that could be, a case could get thrown out. Or if you don't file a lawsuit within the statute of limitations, then you screw a client over. They basically say, when an attorney procrastinates, it's like a toothache, or it's just like a ridiculous, outrageous pain that you're suffering. So, and most attorneys procrastinate. They get around to stuff when they get around to it. So there's several reasons why you're better off representing yourself. And then, of course, there's money. It's free to represent yourself. You may get a consult or two with me, which everybody should get. Everybody should get a consult with me. If you don't get a consult with me and you're lost, then you're dumb. You're just dumb. Like, you got to be stupid to not take advantage of this. And it's not a brag on me. If I didn't take advantage of Dads Against Discrimination and the National Brotherhood of Fathers' Rights and talk to those guys when those guys knew how to fight without an attorney, and those guys had experience. One of them had dealt with the family court about, trying to think when he was working with me, at least 15 years or so. The other one was like 10 years under his belt. And they were anti-establishment, anti-attorney. I would have been stupid. I went to in 2001 when I first was looking at help. I had Goldberg and Jones, divorce lawyers for men, or, fathers' rights attorneys. I called them up. They say, we need $5,000 and you'll probably get it every other weekend. And I said, wait a minute, I live 3 blocks from the mother's home. I could walk to her house. I work at night. When she goes to work during the day, when she gets off maternity leave and goes back to work, I can have my daughter during the day 4 days a week because she's working 4 10s. They said, you'll probably still get every other weekend. We need $5,000. I was like, screw you. See, unlike a lot of guys, I don't tolerate some stupid jackass, total stranger, hustler con psycho telling me I need to settle for some stupid, idiotic, moronic result just because that's what they think. A lot of you guys would go, oh, you're an attorney, I just blindly trust you. That's like trusting a doctor to have the cure for something and they give you some pills that have 20 different side effects, including 2 or 3 that might kill you, and you think that's healthier than just riding out the disease and let your body heal itself. My gender's some punk sissy cowards. And that's why because everything that I did and how I acted was I didn't have anybody guiding me like me. I had to go off of my conscience. I had to say, I'm not settling for some bullcrap. I'm not listening to somebody's stupidity, whether they're a scientist, an astrophysicist, a lawyer, a statistician, or whatever. I don't give a rip. I'm going to be in my daughter's life. And I don't understand anybody who doesn't have that mentality. If you have anything less than that mentality, then you're a sorry, sad sack piece of crap of a lazy bum, coward father who's not trying to protect their child or rescue their child from a crazy baby's mom because you've been punked, you've been whipped, you've been a little henpecked, little simp throughout the whole relationship. And now that she wants to take charge and control the kid, you just obey her and don't confront her and get on the offensive. And then you just trust an attorney because you want somebody else to rescue you and save you and be there for you like mommy was growing up. I would have been stupid when I was turning down these attorneys and telling them screw off, forget you. I was looking in the phone book. I was looking at all these different attorneys. And then there's this group called Dads Against Discrimination. All it has was a phone number, no glitz and glam advertisement, no proof of their wins like I give you guys already. But I call them, I go to a meeting. I would have been stupid not to set up a consultation with Bob Carls in Seattle back then. I would have been stupid. And you're stupid not to get a consult with me. It's to your own detriment. I'll be fine. I won.